Beyond the visible world is a forbidden 4D reality where the true laws of creation unfold. Here, you learn exactly how to bend reality, not through force, but through consciousness itself. Take this knowledge quietly. Learn it, but tell no one, because once you understand it, nothing will ever look the same again. Forbidden 4D reality. Introduction. Between the world your eyes perceive and the truth that quietly breathes beneath it, there exists a hidden realm, a living dimension of pure becoming. This is the unseen plane where thought is not fleeting and feeling is not fragile, but both merge into a silent force that shapes existence itself. Here, reality is not accidental. It is woven with exactness, responding to the subtle currents of your inner being as if guided by an ancient, unerring intelligence. Within this mysterious field, every thought hums with a frequency and every emotion deepens its echo. Together they ripple through the fabric of creation, giving form to what was once invisible. It is here that the deeper laws operate, not swayed by idle desires or wandering minds, but awakened only through focused awareness and sincere feeling. Only what is held with clarity and embodied with truth can cross into manifestation. Your consciousness is not merely observing life. It is tuning it. Like a sacred instrument, it must resonate precisely with the reality you seek to enter. This is not the work of surface-level positivity, but of inner refinement, a steady cultivation of emotion, intention, and presence. For existence does not answer to what you ask for in passing. It responds to what you consistently are. In this quiet threshold between idea and form, you become both the architect and the signal. Every belief you carry becomes a blueprint, shaping the unseen structures that later appear as your lived experience. True power does not lie in struggle or control, but in alignment, a calm, unwavering harmony between your inner state and the life you wish to step into. To walk this path is to embrace discipline of the soul. It asks for patience, devotion, and a certainty that does not waver with circumstance. This is not creation through force, but through resonance, a soft yet immovable attunement to your chosen reality. Hold this understanding with reverence. It is not mere philosophy, but a sacred knowing, a subtle science of consciousness. Such knowledge carries weight. Let it guide you quietly, practice it sincerely, and share it only with care. To shape reality is not just a gift. It is a responsibility whispered to those ready to hear it. Before we get into the book, comment, "I am ready," to affirm your intention to the universe. Part 1. The Awakening of the Hidden Dimension. Chapter 1. The Door Within the Mirror. In the quiet hours of dawn, Lily Mae Burton stood before her mirror, her fingertips hovering near the glass. Each morning brought the same mysterious sensation, a gentle pull from beyond the surface, as if another self awaited acknowledgement. This was no ordinary reflection, but a doorway to understanding how consciousness shapes reality. Through the looking glass lies a truth as old as time itself. You exist simultaneously across multiple dimensions, each version aligned with different frequencies of thought and feeling. The physical world you perceive is but one layer of a vast tapestry, woven from the threads of focused attention and sustained emotion. Just as Lily sensed the presence of her other self, The law of attraction operates through this same principle of resonance. Your thoughts are not mere whispers in the void. They are magnetic forces drawing experiences that match their vibrational signature. When you truly grasp this truth, you understand that imagination and reality are not separate realms, but different expressions of the same creative force. Consider Earl Thomas Becker, who discovered this truth through his daily postal route. As he walked from house to house, he began a practice of gentle affirmations. "Each step brings more joy," he would whisper. "Every moment reveals beauty." What began as simple words soon transformed his entire experience. The houses along his route seemed to glow with welcome. Gardens appeared more vibrant. Even the weather itself appeared to respond to his shifted perspective. Earl's experience reveals a fundamental truth. Your perception actively shapes the world around you. When you alter your emotional broadcast, reality itself reorganizes to reflect your new frequency. This is not wishful thinking, but the operation of universal law. Sacred practice. As night falls and silence embraces you, approach your mirror with reverence. See yourself as both observer and observed. Envision stepping through the glass with calm certainty, meeting your reflection who holds the wisdom of all possibilities. Allow these two aspects of yourself, the physical and the potential, to merge into one luminous being. Feel this union cementing the knowledge that you already exist in a reality shaped by your highest vibration. Carry this integrated awareness into tomorrow, living as though your world has already transformed through this sacred marriage of selves. For in truth, it has. Chapter 2. The Whispering Frequency. Let your attention rest upon this truth. The universe speaks in frequencies, and you are both the instrument and the musician. Charlie Dean Kessler's revelation came on an ordinary evening, when the steady drone of his refrigerator synchronized perfectly with his heartbeat. In that moment of alignment, the veil between the physical and ethereal grew gossamer thin, revealing a fundamental principle of creation. This harmony wasn't mere coincidence. It whispered of a deeper law, that all manifestation flows from vibrational resonance. Just as two tuning forks placed near each other will begin to sing the same note, your emotional frequency draws experiences that match its pitch. The unseen realms respond not to what you say, but to the song your being emanates. Every feeling you harbor creates ripples in the fabric of reality, calling forth circumstances that mirror its essence. When you understand this, you begin to treat your emotional state not as a passive response to life, but as the very force that shapes it. Consider Clara June Petrelli, whose simple act of blessing piano keys transformed her music studio into a sanctuary of flourishing talent. Each morning, before her first student arrived, she would touch each key with reverence, infusing it with loving intention. What followed seemed miraculous to others. Struggling students suddenly blossomed. Melodies flowed with unprecedented grace, and even the neglected plants in the hallway burst into unexpected bloom. Clara's story illuminates a vital truth. Everything in existence responds to the frequency of love and expectation. The piano keys weren't merely receiving her blessing, they were resonating with her devotion, creating a field of harmony that touched all who entered her space. These teachings reveal that you are not separate from the symphony of existence. You are its conductor. Every emotion you cultivate sends forth a attracting experiences that match its wavelength. This is not metaphor, but mechanism, the very foundation upon which reality builds itself. Ancient practice for vibrational alignment. As you prepare for sleep each night, find a quiet moment to attune yourself to the frequency of peace. Let a gentle hum rise naturally from your center, not a melody, but the pure tone of contentment. Feel this vibration expanding beyond your body, beyond your room, merging with the greater harmony of existence. Trust that as you rest, this frequency continues to ripple outward, orchestrating tomorrow's events to match your serene resonance. The world you wake to will echo the peaceful vibration you offered to the night. Chapter 3. The Invisible Script. In the depths of consciousness lies a truth as ancient as time itself. Your emotional script becomes tomorrow's reality. This wisdom emerged through Mabel Rose Donati's simple yet revealing practice. Each evening, as she opened her leather-bound diary, she discovered that her morning's anxieties had transformed into stepping stones rather than stumbling blocks. The chapters she had filled with worry now seemed like shadows dispersed by the light of understanding. Your present moment carries this same transformative power. The universe, in its infinite wisdom, reads the emotional frequency you broadcast with perfect fidelity. Like a master playwright, it crafts scenes that mirror your inner dialogue with unwavering precision. When you shift your emotional story, reality must follow suit. This is the immutable law of consciousness. Within the chamber of your heart lies this sacred editing room where life's manuscript awaits revision. Each belief you hold acts as a command, a line of dialogue the universe cannot help but speak back to you through circumstances and events. The power of this truth reveals itself in the smallest moments, expanding outward to reshape entire landscapes of experience. Consider Henry Clyde Marston, whose revelation came through the humble work of mending doors. One morning, as sunlight streamed through his workshop window, understanding dawned. Every stuck lock mirrored an inner resistance. Every broken hinge reflected a held grievance. In that moment of clarity, he chose to release the weight of past disappointments, allowing forgiveness to flow through his being like oil through rusty gears. What followed seemed miraculous to those who couldn't see the invisible laws at work. Customers began greeting him with unexpected warmth, their generosity flowing as naturally as his own forgiveness had flowed. Their homes opened to him just as his heart had opened to life. This was no coincidence, but the precise operation of universal law. When internal barriers dissolve, external paths clear. Ancient practice of reality. Revision. Find a peaceful corner where silence embraces you. Close your eyes and allow yesterday's events to surface in your mind. Now, with the gentle touch of a master artist, begin repainting these memories with the brush strokes of harmony. Where there was tension, envision ease. Where there was conflict, see understanding blooming like a desert flower after rain. Feel each transformed memory growing brighter, more real within your consciousness. Let the warmth of these revised scenes flow through your being until peace becomes not just a memory, but your present reality's new dialogue. This practice, handed down through generations of wisdom keepers, holds the power to reshape not only your past, but the unfolding moments ahead. Chapter 4. The Field of Permission. In every garden, hidden wisdom blooms, not in the plants alone, but in the space between intention and growth. When Ruthie Gale Mancini discovered that her morning glory vines climbed higher after gentle words of encouragement, she glimpsed a truth older than time itself. Behind her bakery, where the scent of fresh bread mingled with morning dew, she learned that nature responds not to demand, but to invitation. The universe operates through the law of permission. Like a flower opening its petals, every desire you hold waits for your emotional consent before manifesting in physical form. Your thoughts and feelings are the gardeners of reality, tending the soil of possibility with each moment's attention. When you resist what you wish to create, you build walls against its arrival. These barriers, formed from doubt and fear, stand firm until dissolved by acceptance. The law of attraction responds not to yearning but to allowing, to the gentle acceptance that what you seek is already growing toward you. Joseph Frank. De Luca understood this truth only after years of struggle. Each night, beneath the glow of his desk lamp, he filled notebooks with brilliant designs for revolutionary machines. Yet fear of judgment kept these creations imprisoned in paper and ink. His breakthrough came not through effort, but through surrender. One evening, exhausted from fighting his own resistance, Joseph whispered words that changed everything. "I now allow success." This simple permission slip to the universe opened doors he hadn't known existed. Within weeks, investors appeared as naturally as rain after drought, drawn to the clear signal of his acceptance. The power of allowing extends beyond individual circumstances to touch every aspect of life. When you grant yourself permission to receive, the universe no longer needs to wage war against your resistance. Like water flowing downhill, abundance follows the path of least resistance, and permission dissolves all barriers. Sacred practice. Find a quiet moment as the day draws to a close. Settle into stillness and place your hand over your heart. Whisper these words with gentle conviction. I allow every good thing meant for me. Feel how your shoulders naturally release their burden as these words take root. Notice the subtle shift as your being aligns with acceptance. In this space of permission, watch how life begins to flow more freely, how circumstances align with your allowing heart. Practice this acceptance daily and observe as the garden of your reality responds to your softened stance. Chapter 5. The Gravity of Gratitude. The truth of gratitude's power lies not in wishful thinking, but in its ability to realign your entire vibrational field. When Daisy Ann Rizzo sorted through her tips at that small corner diner, she understood something most overlook. The size of the blessing matters far less than the depth of appreciation given to it. Each coin she counted became a seed of recognition, a moment of conscious connection with the universe's endless flow of abundance. The law of attraction responds not to the physical value of what you possess, but to the emotional signature you attach to it. When you treat each blessing, no matter how modest, as evidence of the universe's generosity, you establish a magnetic field that draws more reasons for gratitude toward you. This is not mere coincidence, but the natural operation of universal law. Consider how Walter Dean Russo transformed his daily experience behind the taxi wheel. In a profession often marked by stress and frustration, he chose to see cooperation where others saw obstacles. His practice of thanking traffic lights might seem peculiar to the uninitiated, yet it contained deep wisdom. By offering gratitude to these everyday markers of urban life, he shifted his own energy field from resistance to receptivity. The universe mirrors back to you the emotional frequency you maintain. When Walter's passengers began responding with increased kindness, and his routes flowed with unexpected ease, he witnessed the law of reciprocal gratitude in action. His story reveals that appreciation creates a field of positive possibility around you, inviting harmonious circumstances to manifest. This ancient wisdom teaches that gratitude is not merely a response to good fortune. It is the very force that generates it. Each moment of genuine thanks sends ripples through the quantum field, rearranging probability in your favor. Like a master key, it unlocks doors you never knew existed. The practice. As the morning sun rises, settle into a space of quiet reflection. Choose 5 elements of your present reality, perhaps the warmth of your bed, the breath in your lungs, the sound of birds outside your window, the shelter above your head, or the beating of your own heart. For each one, offer sincere thanks until you feel warmth spreading across your chest. This sensation is not imagined. It is the physical signature of your vibrational shift. Carry this warmth with you as you move through your day. Notice how circumstances begin to align with your grateful heart, presenting new reasons for appreciation. This is not coincidence, but confirmation of the field's response to your shifted awareness. Your gratitude becomes a magnet, attracting experiences that match its frequency. Remember, the universe cannot help but respond to genuine appreciation. It is drawn to thankful hearts as naturally as flowers turn toward the sun. Chapter 6. The Shadow of Doubt. In the quiet moments before dawn, Nancy Lou Romano would lie awake, her thoughts spinning dark webs of possibility. Each imagined scene of loss grew more vivid until the weight of unborn tomorrows pressed against her chest. Through her story, a vital truth emerges. The mind knows not the difference between what is deeply felt and what is real. Each rehearsal of fear becomes a seed planted in fertile soil, waiting to sprout. The law of attraction responds not to what you wish, but to what you feel with consistency and conviction. When Nancy filled her inner theater with scenes of loss, she unknowingly sent out invitations to match that frequency. Yet within this truth lies both caution and comfort. For if fear holds such power, so too does its opposite. Enter Edgar Paul Santoro, whose hand shaped wood into beauty for 3 decades. Faced with a commission that dwarfed all previous works, he felt fear's familiar grip. But in a moment of wisdom, he chose differently. Instead of rehearsing failure, he sat quietly each morning, seeing in his mind's eye the project already complete, his client's face bright with joy. He felt the grain of success beneath his fingers before touching a single board. As the days unfolded, reality began to mirror his inner vision. Solutions appeared where problems once loomed. His hands moved with unexpected grace. The finished piece exceeded even his imagined excellence. Through Edgar's experience, we glimpse a fundamental law. Belief shaped by courage holds more power than habit formed by fear. The mechanism is elegantly simple. Whatever fills your emotional space becomes the blueprint for tomorrow. Fear, repeating itself, grows familiar, comfortable even, like an old but ill-fitting coat. Yet awareness itself acts as light, dissolving shadows that seemed solid moments before. The choice lies not in denying fear's visit, but in choosing how long to host it. Each moment offers a fresh canvas. Will you paint with the dark oils of worry or the bright hues of trust? The universe responds not to what you think you deserve, but to what you deeply believe is already yours. Ancient practice. As evening approaches, find a quiet space where you won't be disturbed. Close your eyes and picture your fears as small clouds drifting through vast blue skies. Acknowledge each one, offering thanks for its visit and the wisdom it brings. Watch as these clouds naturally dissolve into the infinite expanse of possibility. Rest in the clear space that remains, breathing slowly and deeply. Feel the calm assurance that rises naturally when fear no longer commands center stage. Let this peaceful certainty be the last sensation you carry into sleep. Chapter 7. The Language of Feeling. A gentle dawn broke over the mountains as Peggy Ray Lombardo knelt in her garden, her hands folded not in prayer but in silent communion. For years she had struggled to find the perfect words to express her deepest yearnings to the universe. Each carefully crafted phrase felt hollow, like throwing pebbles into a bottomless well. Then one morning, she simply stopped speaking. In that sacred silence, she discovered a truth that would transform her understanding of universal law, that feelings themselves are the purest form of prayer. The universe, in its infinite wisdom, reads not the words we speak, but the vibrations we emit. When you release the need for perfect phrases and allow your heart to broadcast its pure intentions, you tap into the primordial language of creation. This is the hidden wisdom that mystics have guarded through ages. That emotion speaks louder than any word ever could. Consider how a mother understands her infant's needs without a single word being spoken. The universe, like that loving mother, responds to the authentic feeling tone of your desires. Your emotions are the original language, the first alphabet of manifestation. Lionel Jack Ferrara's revelation came during his morning meditation practice. A successful businessman who had long struggled with formal manifestation techniques, he stumbled upon a simple yet powerful truth. Before making any request to the universe, he would first allow himself to smile. Not a forced gesture, but a genuine expression of joy. This small shift created remarkable changes in his life. Business opportunities appeared as if by magic. Relationships healed themselves, and solutions emerged for problems he hadn't even voiced. The smile, he realized, wasn't just a physical action. It was an emotional punctuation mark that amplified his intentions. The universe responds not to the eloquence of your words, but to the resonance of your feeling state. When you understand this truth, you free yourself from the burden of finding perfect expressions. Your emotions become your prayer, your feelings become your request, and your heart becomes the temple where manifestation begins. Sacred practice. Find a quiet space where you won't be disturbed. Close your eyes and bring to mind something you've been trying to manifest. Instead of forming words or specific requests, allow yourself to feel the joy and relief of already having received what you desire. Let this feeling expand in your chest, radiating outward like sunlight. Notice how your body naturally responds to this emotional state. Remain in this wordless communion for several minutes, allowing your feelings to speak directly to the universe. This is the ancient practice of emotional prayer, the original language of creation. Chapter 8. The Law of Rhythm. Within the silence of feeling lies a wisdom deeper than words could express. Like Betty Jean Marino, you may have observed the ebb and flow of your own emotional tides. Days of radiant clarity followed by moments of quiet retreat. This pattern reveals a sacred truth. The universe moves in cycles, each carrying its own perfect timing. When you resist these natural rhythms, pushing against the current of life's flow, manifestation becomes labored and strained. The law of attraction operates not through force but through harmonious alignment with universal timing. Just as the moon pulls the tides without effort, your desires materialize most effortlessly when you move in concert with life's natural cadence. Freddie Allen Cipriani understood this instinctively through his connection to music. As a lifelong musician, he recognized that forcing a faster tempo only created discord. When gigs became scarce and bills mounted, his initial response was to push harder, schedule more auditions, and chase every opportunity. Yet success remained elusive until he remembered the fundamental law of rhythm. Instead of fighting circumstances, Freddie began to treat each day as a measure in life's grand composition. He stopped rushing between appointments and learned to pause between actions, like rests between notes. He listened for the subtle cues that indicated right timing. When to reach out, when to wait, when to act, all guided by an inner sense of rhythm. Gradually, his life transformed. New opportunities appeared naturally, flowing into his experience like perfectly timed phrases in a beautiful song. His income stabilized without strain, and most remarkably, joy returned to his music and his days. By surrendering to life's tempo, he had discovered the secret of effortless manifestation. This wisdom extends to your own creative power. The universe responds not to desperate pushing, but to rhythmic allowing. Each desire you hold carries its own perfect timing for manifestation. Your task is not to force outcomes, but to align with the natural flow of creation. The ancient practice of rhythm alignment. Sway slowly to quiet music each morning and let breath set the beat. Commit to ride the rhythm of ease throughout the day, aligning choices with natural timing instead of tension. Let this practice remind you that manifestation flows most freely when you move in harmony with life's natural rhythm. Chapter 9. The Mirror of Others. The universe teaches its wisdom through every interaction, even those that stir discomfort within your heart. This truth unveiled itself through Connie Sue Romano's journey at the city library, where daily conflicts with her colleagues seemed to intensify without cause. Each morning brought fresh irritation, books misplaced, schedules misaligned, curt words exchanged across the reference desk. Yet beneath the surface tension lay a deeper revelation. The law of attraction works through reflection. Your outer world mirrors your inner state with perfect precision. Like a lake reflecting the sky above, your relationships reveal the weather patterns of your consciousness. This principle operates with unwavering accuracy, transforming every person you encounter into a living mirror of your own vibration. When Connie Sue finally paused to examine her frustration, she recognized her own impatience staring back at her. The very qualities that troubled her in others were signposts pointing to unresolved aspects within herself. This recognition marked the beginning of inner transformation. Albert Ray Bellucci's experience at the accounting firm further illuminates this principle. Faced with a demanding supervisor whose criticisms seemed relentless, he chose an unconventional approach. Rather than feeding the cycle of tension, Albert began each morning by silently blessing his boss with genuine goodwill. He visualized peaceful interactions and held steady in that frequency of harmony. Within weeks, the office atmosphere shifted noticeably. His supervisor's tone softened, deadlines became more reasonable, and communication flowed with unexpected ease. Albert had discovered the secret. When you alter your energetic broadcast, the world has no choice but to adjust its reception. Like tuning a radio to a clearer frequency, adjusting your inner vibration automatically clarifies external connections. The power of this understanding lies in its practical application. You need not engage in outer conflict or attempt to change others directly. Instead, cultivate the feeling state you wish to experience in your relationships. The law of attraction ensures that your emotional signal will be reflected back through every interaction. Ancient practice. Sit quietly and envision anyone who troubles you wrapped in golden light. See this radiance dissolving all discord, not merely for their benefit, but as a purification of your own mirror. Stand in simple gratitude, knowing that harmony now reflects throughout your human circle. This practice, performed with sincerity, realigns your relationships with the natural rhythm of peace. Chapter 10. The Vision Seat. In ancient times, the wise understood that creation begins in stillness. This truth reveals itself through the tale of Millie Jo Spataro, who crafted a simple wooden chair with her own hands, dedicating it as her sacred space for communion with the infinite. Each morning she would sit in contemplative silence, allowing visions of her desired life to form with crystalline clarity in her mind's eye. The universal law teaches us that what we hold steadily in consciousness must eventually manifest in form. Like a master sculptor who sees the finished statue within the raw marble, you possess the innate ability to perceive your ideal reality before it takes physical shape. This vision seat becomes your throne of creation, where thought transforms into substance. When you rest in perfect stillness, tuning your inner sight to the frequency of pure possibility, the universe begins its subtle orchestration. Every detail you imagine with feeling and faith becomes a command to the cosmic forces that shape circumstance. This is not mere daydreaming, but the sacred art of conscious creation. Consider Calvin Eli Diorio, whose heart yearned for a specific truck beyond his immediate means. Rather than dwelling in lack, he would spend time each evening seeing himself behind the wheel, feeling the leather seat beneath him, hearing the engine's steady hum. He infused these visions with genuine gratitude, as though the truck were already his. The universe, responding to his unwavering signal, arranged an unexpected encounter with a friend who offered him the exact model at half its value. The power of visualization lies not in forcing outcomes, but in maintaining such crystal clarity that the external world naturally reshapes itself to mirror your inner picture. Like a master architect who first sees the building in mind before laying the first stone, you are called to develop this same precision of inner sight. Ancient practice. Find a special place where you can sit undisturbed. This becomes your vision seat, your point of connection with infinite possibility. Settle yourself comfortably and allow your breath to slow. Now imagine yourself already living in the reality you wish to create. Feel the textures, hear the sounds, notice the colors and shapes around you. Let gratitude fill your being as you recognize that unseen forces are already at work, arranging circumstances to match your vision. Remain in this space of thankful awareness, knowing that what you see within must manifest without. Part 2. The Science of Emotional Alchemy. Chapter 11. The Magnetic Mind. Elsie Mae Torino moved through her daily routines with a secret smile, for she had discovered an ancient truth. Imagination holds magnetic power. While washing dishes, she pictured herself painting in a sunlit studio. As she filed papers at work, her mind danced with visions of teaching art to eager students. Soon, her ordinary world began to shimmer with possibility, each mundane moment transformed by the light of her inner seeing. The universe responds not to what your eyes observe, but to what your heart imagines with feeling. When you infuse each moment with the energy of your desires, reality begins its subtle dance of reorganization. Your thoughts are not mere fantasies. They are the architects of tomorrow, drawing forth matching circumstances from the infinite field of potential. Vernon Lee Campione understood this principle intimately. As a struggling artist, he spent hours visualizing his paintings hanging in galleries, feeling the texture of success in his bones. He would close his eyes before touching brush to canvas, allowing images to form in his mind with crystal clarity. What began as pure thought soon materialized. His art started attracting attention, collectors began calling, and galleries opened their doors. His experience reveals the bridge between imagination and manifestation. The universe does not distinguish between what you vividly imagine and what you physically experience. Both carry creative force. When you maintain clear mental pictures infused with emotional energy, you create a template that reality must follow. This power of visualization operates constantly, whether you direct it consciously or not. Every thought sends ripples through the quantum field, attracting corresponding circumstances. By choosing your mental pictures deliberately, you harness this natural law for purposeful creation. The key lies in sustained focus combined with genuine feeling. Brief glimpses of desire hold less magnetic power than deeply felt visions maintained over time. When you can touch, taste, and feel your imagined reality as though it already exists, you accelerate its physical emergence. Practice. During each task today, pause to nurture your inner vision. As you perform routine activities, let your imagination glow with pictures of your desired experiences. Feel the excitement and gratitude as though your dreams are already manifest. This simple practice transforms ordinary moments into powerful points of attraction, magnetizing your chosen reality into being. The more you practice this inner seeing, the more your outer world will reshape itself to match your cherished visions. Chapter 12. The Heart Circuit. In the depths of understanding lies a truth as old as thought itself. The marriage of mind and heart creates reality's most potent magic. Flora May Benetti's discovery illuminates this ancient wisdom. Each morning, as inspiration coursed through her veins, she noticed her finest creative moments arrived not through mental strain, but through the pure joy that quickened her pulse. Her racing heart became the drum that beckoned brilliance. This revelation unveils the sacred science behind manifestation. When thought and emotion unite, they forge a signal strong enough to reshape the quantum field. The heart, you see, is not merely a pump of life-giving blood. It is an electromagnetic broadcaster, sending waves of intention into the infinite. These waves carry your desires on currents of feeling, transforming abstract wishes into tangible experiences. Tony Clyde Lamberti embraced this wisdom through methodical practice. Each evening, he would settle into his worn leather chair, pen and paper in hand. But unlike his previous rushed scribblings of goals, he first attended to his breath. Inhaling deeply, exhaling slowly, he waited until his pulse found its natural rhythm. Only then would he write, letting each goal flow from a place of centered power rather than anxious wanting. The results transformed his approach to manifestation. Where once his achievements felt hard-won through strain and struggle, they now unfolded with an ease that seemed almost effortless. His desires manifested not through force, but through a harmonious dance of intention and allowing. The heart knows what the mind often forgets, that creation flows best through channels of peace. When you align your thoughts with your heartbeat, you tap into the body's innate wisdom. This alignment creates a coherent field, amplifying your creative power beyond mere mental focusing. Think of it as tuning an instrument. A discordant string produces chaos, but when properly tensioned it rings true. Similarly, when your thoughts and emotions vibrate in harmony, reality responds with matching precision. Ancient practice. Find a quiet space each morning where you won't be disturbed. Place your hand over your heart, feeling its steady rhythm beneath your palm. Breathe deeply until your thoughts slow to match its pace. Let your mind's desires sink into your heart's beating, unifying intention with emotion. Hold this harmony for several minutes, knowing that your aligned energy now broadcasts with doubled power. Carry this coherence through your day, letting each heartbeat amplify your thoughts' creative force. Chapter 13. The Geometry of Belief. In the world beyond sight, numbers and signs weave an intricate dance with your inner state. Sophie Lou D'Amico first glimpsed this truth through fortune cookies at her neighborhood cafe. Week after week, the messages aligned precisely with her deepest thoughts. Warnings appeared during doubtful periods, while encouragement emerged when her spirit soared. This was no mere coincidence, but a demonstration of how your beliefs arrange the visible world into meaningful patterns. The universe speaks in the language of synchronicity, responding to your emotional frequency by organizing external events into corresponding designs. Each thought you hold becomes a template, drawing similar shapes into your experience until the outer world mirrors your inner landscape with perfect precision. Mark Allen Vitale understood this instinctively through his craft as a furniture maker. He never measured twice or consulted detailed plans. Instead, he allowed his hands to follow the whispers of intuition. "The wood tells me where to cut," he would say, "and the angles align themselves when my heart is quiet." His customers often remarked that sitting in his chairs felt like being embraced by harmony itself. Their bodies recognized the truth his feelings had shaped into form. His experience reveals a fundamental principle. Physical reality molds itself to match your emotional geometry. Just as water finds its level, circumstances arrange themselves to reflect your deepest beliefs. The lines and curves of your life are not random. They form patterns that echo your internal state with mathematical accuracy. The law of attraction operates through this subtle architecture of belief. When you attune yourself to success, doors align like perfectly hung hinges. When you vibrate with abundance, Opportunities arrange themselves in elegant symmetry. The external world is constantly reshaping itself to match your internal blueprint. Sacred practice. As you move through your day, become aware of recurring symbols, numbers, or patterns that catch your attention. Notice how these mirror your current beliefs and expectations. If you observe patterns you wish to change, gently shift your emotional stance. Feel the new resonance you desire, allowing life's geometry to realign with your adjusted frequency. Trust that as your inner pattern transforms, the outer world will reconstruct itself to match your renewed design. Before we get into the next chapter, you can download a free ebook version of this audiobook using the link in the pinned comment below this video. Chapter 14. The Alchemy of Words. A gentle truth whispers through the ages. Your words weave the fabric of your reality. As spoken sounds ripple through the air, they shape the invisible architecture of experience. This wisdom emerged in vivid clarity through Bessie Ruth Capano's transformation. Each morning, Bessie Ruth would pause at her kitchen window, watching sparrows gather at the feeder. Where once she muttered about the mess they made, she began instead to praise their morning song. "What a blessing to start each day with nature's chorus," she would say, her voice carrying a melody of its own. Soon, her entire world seemed to harmonize with this new frequency. Conversations that once dragged now danced with unexpected joy. Chance meetings turned into treasured connections. The very air around her seemed to shimmer with possibility. The universe responds not just to thoughts and feelings, but to the vibration of spoken word. Each syllable carries a creative force, molding the quantum field like fingers shaping clay. Your voice becomes the chisel that carves reality from the marble of potential. Leonard J. Peluso discovered this truth through his own spiritual alchemy. As a small business owner, he had developed a habit of sighing heavily while reviewing his accounts. "Things are always tight," he would mutter, shoulders hunched under invisible weight. Then one day, inspired by ancient wisdom, he began speaking words of abundance instead. "I am grateful for the steady flow of prosperity," he would declare each morning, letting the words roll with genuine appreciation. "My business serves others with excellence." Within months, his ledgers began to reflect this new vibrational offering. New clients appeared, seemingly from nowhere. Opportunities expanded like flowers opening to sunlight. Here lies a fundamental law. The words you speak are seeds planted in fertile cosmic soil. They grow into experiences that match their essential nature. Complaints sprout thorns, praise yields gardens. The universe has no choice but to echo the frequency you broadcast. When you infuse your speech with light, light returns to illuminate your path. When you speak of abundance, abundance recognizes its name and draws near. This is not magical thinking, but the operation of precise universal law. Practice. Find a quiet space and speak these words with gentle power. I am deeply thankful for the abundance flowing through my life. Feel how these words change the very air around you. Let their vibration settle into your cells, knowing they have already begun to reshape your reality. Repeat this practice daily, watching as your spoken gratitude returns multiplied in ways you never imagined. Chapter 15. The Paradox of Patience. A woman once found herself caught in the web of ceaseless yearning. Each morning, Gloria June Napoli would kneel beside her bed, hands clasped tight, whispering urgent pleas into the silence. Her prayers, though sincere, carried the weight of desperation, a subtle vibration that actually pushed away the very things she sought to draw near. The ancient wisdom speaks clearly on this matter. Impatience creates a frequency of lack, broadcasting to the universe that something essential remains missing. This very signal of absence becomes a barrier, preventing manifestation from flowing naturally into your experience. When you reach with anxious hands toward tomorrow's promises, you inadvertently tell the universe that today stands empty. Consider instead the deeper truth, that creation responds not to desperate need, but to calm certainty. The universe mirrors back the emotional tone you project. When that tone rings with urgency, circumstances arrange themselves to maintain the experience of waiting and wanting. Yet when your heart beats steady with quiet confidence, reality reshapes itself to match your assured expectancy. Arthur Dean Ricci stumbled upon this truth through an unexpected path. As a merchant who had long struggled with declining sales, he finally exhausted himself with worry. One evening, too tired to fret any longer, he simply let go. In that moment of surrender, he felt an unusual peace wash over him, a certainty that all would unfold perfectly in its own time. Within days, opportunities began appearing as if by magic, each one more promising than the last. The meaning illuminated in Arthur's experience reveals the great paradox of manifestation. The very act of releasing our grip on outcomes allows them to materialize naturally. Like a butterfly that lands softly when you cease chasing it, your desires come to rest in your life once you stop pursuing them with desperate intensity. This truth extends beyond mere patience. It points to a state of being where waiting dissolves into wisdom. True patience isn't the frustrated tolerance of delay, but rather the serene knowledge that perfect timing guides all creation. When you align with this understanding, you step into the flow of natural manifestation, where desires fulfill themselves through divine timing rather than forceful demand. Ancient practice. As you move through moments of waiting today, whether in traffic, in lines, or in life's larger pauses, transform each instance into an opportunity for mastery. Breathe gently and feel the completion of your desires as already achieved. Let your body soften and your mind quiet into the certainty that all unfolds in perfect sequence. This serenity becomes your announcement to the universe that fulfillment already exists within you. In this way, waiting becomes not a burden, but a bridge to manifestation. Chapter 16. The Bridge of Faith. In the subtle dance between desire and manifestation, patience emerges not as idle waiting, but as unwavering trust. Gloria June. Napoli's story reveals the first layer of this truth. That anxious pursuit pushes away that which we seek to draw near. Like a butterfly that lands only when we grow still, our deepest wishes materialize in the space of peaceful certainty. Arthur Dean Ricci's discovery illuminates another facet of this wisdom. In releasing his grip on outcomes, he found they appeared as if by magic, like gifts that had been waiting behind a veil of desperation. The universe delights in surprising those who trust its timing. Yet there exists an even deeper layer to this mystery, as shown through Marjorie Lynn Orlando's bold approach to manifestation. Rather than waiting for external confirmation, she moved through the world as if her desires were already fulfilled. When a position opened at her dream company, she prepared her office space at home before the interview. When she wished to travel, she studied the language of her destination before booking tickets. Her actions flowed from unshakable inner knowing rather than outer evidence. This points to a profound truth about the nature of 4D reality. It responds to the energy of completion rather than the energy of seeking. The path appears not before the first step, but because of it. Like invisible ink revealed by heat, our opportunities materialize through the warmth of our conviction. Donald Ray Crocetti embodied this principle through his powerful declaration, "It's already done." By living from the end result, he discovered that reality rushed to match his inner certainty. Chance meetings, perfect timing, and aligned circumstances appeared not through force, but through faith. His experience teaches us that the bridge builds itself beneath feet that dare to walk on air. The law works this way. When you move with complete trust, the universe conspires to support your stride. It is not blind faith, but rather a deep knowing that transcends physical evidence. Every master of manifestation has discovered this paradox, that we must act from the future we desire rather than wait for permission from the present. Sacred practice. Find a quiet moment and close your eyes. Picture yourself standing at the edge of a great chasm, with your heart's desire visible on the distant cliff. Rather than searching for an existing bridge, smile knowingly as you lift your foot to step into empty space. Feel the solid ground materializing beneath each step, constructed by your unwavering faith. Walk this invisible bridge daily in your mind until you feel the absolute certainty that every step forward is supported by the infinite intelligence that guides all creation. Chapter 17. The Currency of Joy. Throughout the ages, the wisest teachers have whispered of an invisible exchange that governs all manifestation. Like water finding its level, emotion seeks its match in the material world. This truth reveals itself through those who stumble upon its power, often in the simplest of moments. Francine K. Romano worked at a small boutique where sales quotas loomed large. She had studied every technique, memorized every script, yet success remained elusive. One morning, exhausted from effort, she surrendered her strategies and simply allowed herself to smile, genuine, unforced, and free. To her amazement, customers began lingering longer, purchasing more, and returning with friends. Her joy, it seemed, had become a magnetic force, drawing abundance through paths her mind could never have planned. The universe operates on principles far subtler than mere exchange of goods and services. Within the quantum fabric of reality flows an emotional currency, one that multiplies itself when freely given. This is the sacred mathematics of the heart, where happiness invested yields happiness compounded, where authentic delight attracts its reflection in countless forms. Carl Joe Palladino discovered this law during his daily walks. A businessman burdened by deadlines and demands, he began taking breaks simply to laugh at the shapes of clouds drifting overhead. This small act of playfulness shifted something in the field around him. Coffee shops offered him complimentary treats, stern-faced executives softened in meetings, and opportunities appeared as if by magic. His lightness of being had opened channels of grace that no amount of forcing could have achieved. His experience illuminates a profound truth. The universe responds not to what we demand, but to what we radiate. When we release the grip of seriousness and allow joy to flow freely, We activate an ancient principle of multiplication. Every smile becomes a seed, every laugh a ripple expanding outward to touch countless shores. The practice. Find a quiet moment and allow laughter to arise within you for no reason at all. Let it begin as a gentle bubbling, free from any need for cause or justification. Feel this mirth expanding outward like golden light, wrapping you in its warm embrace. Know that as you freely spend this currency of joy, the cosmos itself conspires to repay you in kind delight. Your laughter becomes an investment in the bank of infinite possibility, earning dividends in unexpected moments of grace. Chapter 18. The Transmutation of Fear. A story passed down through generations speaks of Edith Carroll Mancuso, who found herself trembling before audiences until wisdom transformed her perception. In those moments before stepping onto the stage, her heart would race and her hands would shake, signals her mind interpreted as warning signs of impending disaster. Yet one day, while watching children on a carousel, she witnessed their screams of delight as they spun faster and higher. The same physical sensations that gripped her in terror before speeches, racing heart, shortened breath, tingling limbs, were identical to what these children experienced as pure joy. In that moment, ancient understanding dawned. Fear and excitement were twin energies, distinguished only by the labels we assign them. This revelation unveils a profound truth about the nature of emotion. No feeling is inherently negative or positive until we name it so. The energy that manifests as fear holds the exact same power as courage. It is merely wearing a different mask. When you remove the mask of fear, beneath it lies raw potential waiting to be redirected. George Tim Barletta, a concert pianist, embodied this wisdom before each performance. Where once his trembling hands threatened to derail his music, he learned to greet his nerves as allies. "Welcome, my friends," he would whisper to his shaking fingers. "Let us create beauty together." Through this simple act of blessing what he once cursed, the very energy that had paralyzed him transformed into passionate expression. His performances took on a vibrancy that moved audiences to tears. The universe speaks to us through sensation. What we interpret as anxiety is often excitement attempting to break free from the cage of our judgment. The butterflies in your stomach are not harbingers of doom, but messengers of potential, waiting for you to grant them new meaning. When you stand at the threshold of any challenge, remember, the energy surging through you is neutral until you name it. Choose to see it as power rising, as life force awakening, as the universe itself stirring within you to create something magnificent. Ancient practice. When anxiety stirs, whisper, "Welcome energy," letting tingles rise as fuel. Feel transformation ignite calm confidence glowing through your nerves. Chapter 19. The Invisible Thread. Hazel Ann Vitello lived quietly in a small coastal town, yet noticed mysterious patterns emerging in her daily life. When she thought warmly of distant friends, their messages would arrive within hours. At first, she dismissed these occurrences as mere chance, until the frequency became impossible to ignore. These synchronicities reveal an ancient truth. Consciousness operates beyond the constraints of space and time. Your thoughts and feelings ripple through an unseen web that connects all beings. This invisible network responds not to distance, but to the intensity of emotional resonance. Within this unified field, Every loving thought acts as a signal, traveling instantly across what appears to be vast separation. The heart knows no boundaries. It speaks in a language of pure energy that transcends physical barriers. When you hold someone in your thoughts with genuine affection, you activate this quantum connection. Thomas Lee Rizzo discovered this principle through an unexpected experiment. Living thousands of miles from his childhood friend, he dedicated 15 minutes each morning to sending thoughts of appreciation and support. On the third day, his phone rang. It was his friend, saying he felt compelled to call, though he couldn't explain why. This was no coincidence, but rather evidence of consciousness's interconnected nature. His experience exemplifies how the fabric of reality responds to intentional focus. Just as radio waves carry music through seemingly empty space, your thoughts and emotions transmit real energy across the universal field. The key lies not in the physical distance, but in the clarity and authenticity of your emotional broadcast. This principle operates continuously, whether you're conscious of it or not. Each feeling you nurture creates ripples through the collective consciousness, touching lives in ways you may never directly witness. The universe operates as one vast, responsive intelligence, orchestrating connections through the power of focused attention and genuine emotion. Practice. Find a quiet space where you won't be disturbed. Close your eyes and visualize silver threads of light extending from your heart to everyone you hold dear. With each breath, send waves of pure love along these connections. Don't strain or force. Simply allow your natural appreciation to flow outward. Trust that these threads of light carry your good intentions instantly to their recipients. Maintain this practice for several minutes, knowing that the universal intelligence is weaving these energetic strands into a tapestry of meaningful synchronicities. Chapter 20. The Mirror Between Sleep and Waking. In the hushed moments before sleep claims consciousness, something extraordinary occurs. The veil between worlds grows thin, and intention finds its purest expression. This truth revealed itself to Minnie Rose Romano during a period of profound transformation in her life. Each night, as shadows lengthened and the world grew quiet, Minnie Rose discovered a sacred window of opportunity. She noticed that her final thoughts before surrendering to slumber seemed to paint the canvas of her following day. When worry clouded her mind at bedtime, obstacles emerged by morning. Yet when gratitude filled her heart as she drifted off, unexpected blessings awaited her dawn. The universe speaks in the language of feeling, and nowhere is this dialogue more potent than in those twilight moments between waking and sleeping. Here, the conscious mind's resistance softens, allowing pure intention to sink deeply into the fertile soil of the subconscious. What you plant in these precious moments takes root with remarkable strength. Leo Paul. Tarantino's experience illuminates this principle further. As a struggling artist, he began a simple practice of reviewing his day with appreciation just before sleep. Rather than rehearsing his troubles, he would lie in bed and savor small victories, genuine smiles, and moments of beauty. Within weeks, his creative blocks dissolved. Solutions to persistent problems appeared in morning's first light, as though the night had rearranged reality's puzzle pieces while he slept. His story teaches us that the subconscious mind works tirelessly through the night, weaving our evening thoughts into tomorrow's tapestry. It accepts our final emotional state as a blueprint for reality, neither questioning nor judging, simply creating in alignment with the feeling tone we offer. The law of attraction operates with special power in these twilight moments. The analytical mind steps aside, allowing pure feeling to transmit clearly into the universal field. Like a gardener planting seeds at dusk, your evening thoughts germinate in darkness, ready to sprout with the new day. The ancient practice. As you prepare for sleep tonight, create a gentle ritual of positive expectation. Let your body sink into comfort while holding thoughts of life's sweetness. Review your day not as it was, but as you wish it had been. Picture tomorrow not as you fear it might be, but as you dream it could be. Feel the warmth of gratitude spread through your chest as though your deepest wishes have already come true. Allow these pleasant visions to be the last impressions you offer to your subconscious mind. Trust that as you drift into dreams, these seeds of joy are being planted in fertile soil, ready to blossom with the morning light. Part 3. The Mastery of Creation. Chapter 21. The Silence That Speaks. In the heart of a bustling market, Ida Marie Corvino discovered an unexpected truth. While others called out their wares with loud voices, she sat quietly at her small herb stall, allowing an inner peace to envelop her presence. As days passed, she noticed more customers naturally gravitating toward her silent corner, drawn by an inexplicable force of tranquility. The wisdom revealed through her experience illuminates an eternal truth. The deepest power flows not through words, but through the quiet spaces between them. When you cease the endless chatter of wants and wishes, a profound shift occurs in the fabric of creation. The universe, ever present and all-knowing, requires no explanation of your desires. It awaits only your silent recognition of its infinite ability to provide. Think of the space between thoughts as a sacred temple where manifestation begins. Here, in the absence of mental noise, pure intention crystallizes into form. Your desires need no voice when held in the stillness of absolute knowing. The law of attraction operates most powerfully in these moments of perfect quiet, when resistance dissolves and allowance fills the void. Frank Otto Delgado, a merchant facing crucial decisions, stumbled upon this truth during a particularly challenging period. Rather than analyzing spreadsheets late into the night, he began sitting in meditation before making any significant choice. In the embrace of silence, clarity would arise like dawn breaking over still waters. His business flourished not through strategic planning alone, but through this practice of quieting the mind to hear the whispers of universal wisdom. The meaning becomes clear. When you stop striving to make things happen, you allow them to unfold naturally. The universe speaks in silence, and its language is far more precise than any words could capture. Your role is not to direct, but to receive, not to demand, but to allow. This practice transcends mere meditation. It becomes a way of being. In moments of uncertainty, the answer lies not in more analysis, but in deeper silence. When questions arise, resist the urge to immediately seek solutions. Instead, sink into the quiet space where answers already exist. A simple practice, the temple of silence. Find a comfortable space where you won't be disturbed. Close your eyes and allow your breath to naturally slow. Let your thoughts settle like leaves falling gently to earth. Rest in this warm stillness for several moments each day, neither seeking nor avoiding any particular experience. Simply be present in the quiet. Listen beyond the realm of thought until you feel guidance humming through you with gentle certainty. This is the sacred language of manifestation, speaking directly to your soul. The universe requires no persuasion, only your quiet recognition of its presence. In silence, you'll discover that everything you seek is already seeking you. Chapter 22. The Fifth Sense of Knowing. Lucy Ellen Riccio discovered the art of inner knowing one autumn morning. While frantically searching for her lost keys, she paused, closed her eyes, and felt a gentle pull toward her garden. There, beneath fallen leaves, lay her keys, exactly where her quiet intuition had whispered they would be. This moment revealed a profound truth. Knowledge flows first through feeling, then manifests as physical reality. The wisdom speaks clearly. Your inner compass already knows the way before evidence appears. Like a ship's navigator sensing approaching land before the shore emerges from the mist, your intuition perceives the invisible architecture of possibility. This subtle awareness precedes physical proof, operating in the fourth dimension where time bends and knowing transcends linear thought. Harold Jean Vassallo embodied this truth in the world of finance. Rather than drowning in charts and forecasts, he cultivated stillness before making investment decisions. In that space of quiet, he would sense which opportunities carried positive energy. His colleagues mocked this approach until his portfolio began outperforming traditional analysis. When asked about his method, Harold simply said, "The numbers follow the feeling, never the other way around." His experience illuminates the deeper pattern. Intuition is not mystical guessing, but rather a direct perception of reality's blueprint before it solidifies into form. Like a master sculptor who sees the finished statue within raw marble, your inner knowing already holds the shape of things to come. This reveals the secret of 4D navigation. Trust precedes proof. The universe speaks first in whispers, sending signals through your body's wisdom rather than your mind's logic. These subtle nudges are reality's early warning system, guiding you toward alignment before circumstances fully materialize. Your own inner knowing awaits recognition. It speaks not in words, but through sensations of lightness or heaviness, expansion or contraction. Every choice carries a feeling tone that your body registers instantly, if only you pause to listen. Ancient practice for awakening. Inner guidance. When uncertainty clouds your path, find a quiet moment and settle into stillness. Place one hand on your heart and one on your belly. Take 3 slow breaths, releasing mental chatter with each exhale. Now bring your question to mind without seeking answers. Simply notice which direction feels like a gentle opening or sense of peace in your body. This subtle signal is your inner compass pointing true north. Trust this quiet knowing as your faithful guide through the invisible landscape of possibility. Chapter 23. The Gift of Contrast. Long ago, in a village among misty hills, Ruby May Lombardi spent her days counting inventory in a dim warehouse. Hour after hour, she recorded numbers in ledgers while sunlight streamed tantalizingly through high windows she couldn't reach. Yet in those moments of monotony, something extraordinary awakened within her. As Ruby's hands moved mechanically over boxes and papers, her mind began painting vivid pictures of what she truly desired: teaching art to children, traveling to distant shores, creating beauty that would inspire others. The very grayness of her surroundings made the colors of her dreams more vivid. Each tedious task crystallized another facet of the life she longed to live. This truth echoes through the ages. Contrast serves as our greatest teacher. What appears as limitation actually illuminates the path forward. Your current circumstances, no matter how challenging, sketch the precise outline of your deepest desires. The shadow always points toward the light. Peter Ross Benigno discovered this wisdom through matters of the heart. After his beloved left him, he found himself alone with an aching emptiness. Yet in that void, he began to understand the qualities he most needed to cultivate within himself. The very pain of loss guided him to develop self-compassion, inner strength, and unwavering self-acceptance. What seemed like heartbreak was actually the universe's way of directing him toward wholeness. His journey reveals that every unwanted experience carries within it the seeds of transformation. Like a sculptor's chisel, contrast carves away what is not essential, revealing the masterpiece of your true desires. The things that challenge you outline precisely what you wish to create. When you find yourself in situations that trigger resistance or discomfort, pause and recognize the gift being offered. Each annoyance, each frustration, each moment of discontent serves as a spiritual compass, pointing toward what you truly seek. The universe speaks through contrast, using the unwanted to illuminate the wanted. Ancient practice. As you move through your day, meet each source of irritation or disappointment with gentle gratitude. When something bothers you, silently say, "Thank you for showing me what I prefer instead." Feel how each contrast brightens your awareness of what you truly desire. Let each unwanted moment serve as a signpost, guiding you step by step toward the life that calls to your heart. In this way, even shadows become teachers lighting your path. Chapter 24. The Quantum Playground. In a quiet corner of an old town square, Vera Ann Mancini sat each morning with her coffee, watching sunlight play across the cobblestones. While others hurried past with furrowed brows, she turned visualization into a light-hearted game. Instead of straining to manifest her desires, she would playfully toss her dreams into the morning light like soap bubbles, watching them float away with childlike delight. To her amazement, what once seemed distant began appearing twice as fast, as if the universe itself responded to her joyful approach. The law of attraction flows most freely through channels of joy. When you release the weight of seriousness from your creative practice, manifestation accelerates naturally. This truth echoes through the ages. The universe responds not to the intensity of your desire, but to the lightness of your touch. Think of how water flows more smoothly, without resistance, how music soars when played with ease rather than force. Your creative power magnifies when wielded with playful spirit rather than grim determination. Normie Lou Fazio discovered this principle while tending his small shop. Rather than anxiously monitoring his business goals, he began imagining positive outcomes as if directing a pleasant daydream. He would lightly picture customers arriving, sales increasing, and opportunities unfolding, then release these visions completely, returning to his tasks with a smile. Soon, unlikely coincidences began appearing. New clients referred by strangers, unexpected partnerships, and opportunities that seemed to materialize from thin air. His gentle approach had opened a channel for abundance to flow naturally. These stories illuminate a profound truth. Manifestation accelerates when we release our grip on outcomes. Like a child at play, when we approach creation with lightness and joy, we reduce the resistance that often blocks our desires. The universe responds more readily to a heart at play than to a mind weighed down by desperate wanting. Practice. For the span of 10 breaths, allow yourself to play with the idea that the world eagerly bends toward your smile. Feel this not as a forced belief, but as a delightful game of what if. Carry this playful perspective through your day's activities, treating each moment as an opportunity for joyful creation. Let your manifestation practice become a dance rather than a march, a song rather than a demand. Chapter 25, The Fellowship of Light. In a small, sunlit garden on the outskirts of town, Harriet Jean Marini gathered with friends each Sunday morning. What began as casual conversation over tea evolved into something far more potent. She noticed that when multiple hearts beat in grateful unison, the fabric of reality seemed to shimmer with heightened possibility. The universal law reveals itself through such gatherings. When minds align in shared intention, their creative force multiplies exponentially. Like strings of a cosmic instrument vibrating in harmony, synchronized consciousness generates waves of manifestation that ripple through the quantum field with amplified power. Harriet's weekly circles grew organically as word spread of the transformations occurring among participants. A young artist found her work suddenly featured in galleries. A retired teacher received an unexpected inheritance. A struggling entrepreneur's business began to flourish. The common thread? Each had participated in the group's focused appreciation of life's gifts. The science behind this phenomenon lies in resonance. When multiple souls attune to the same frequency of gratitude, their individual signals combine and strengthen, much like waves meeting in perfect phase. The universe responds more swiftly to this heightened amplitude of intention. Albert Don Lucenti witnessed this principle in action when he gathered 12 friends in his living room for shared visualization. Each person held an image of their deepest desire while supporting the dreams of others. Within weeks, a cascade of coincidences transformed their lives. One found her soulmate, another healed from chronic illness, and a third manifested a dream home. The power of their combined focus had accelerated each individual's manifestation. Their experience illuminates a profound truth. While personal practice holds power, collective intention creates a field of heightened possibility. When hearts beat as one in gratitude or vision, the very matrix of reality becomes more responsive. Like a cosmic choir, each voice strengthens the others, creating a symphony of manifestation that uplifts all. The ancient practice. Find a quiet moment and settle into peaceful breathing. Close your eyes and picture yourself seated in a circle of light with countless others around the globe. Feel your personal radiance merging with theirs, creating a golden web of shared intention that encircles Earth. Let your desires float gently in this field of collective power, knowing they are held and amplified by the unified force of many hearts beating as one. Rest in this communion for several minutes, sensing how your individual light both contributes to and is strengthened by the whole. Chapter 26. The Forgiven Timeline. In a small apartment overlooking a quiet street, Josephine Lea Romano sat each evening with her box of memories. Old photographs and letters that once stung her heart lay scattered across her worn oak table. night after night. She picked up each item, held it to her chest, and whispered words of blessing until the pain began to dissolve. What started as an intuitive practice soon revealed a profound truth about the nature of time and healing. The universe speaks in the language of energy. When past wounds remain unhealed, they create dense knots in the fabric of your timeline, blocking the flow of fresh possibilities. These emotional anchors hold you fixed to old patterns, repeating their echoes in present circumstances. Yet within these very wounds lies dormant power, waiting to be transformed through the alchemy of forgiveness. Through her nightly ritual, Josephine discovered that blessing the past didn't just ease her heart. It seemed to unlock doors in her present life that had long remained sealed. As if by magic, relationships smoothed, opportunities appeared, and a new lightness entered her step. The past, she realized, was not fixed but fluid, responding to the healing balm of present consciousness. This truth found further validation through Clarence J. Barbieri's remarkable experience. A former business executive haunted by costly mistakes, Clarence began a practice of sending love back through time to his younger self during moments of perceived failure. Rather than berate his past choices, he embraced them as necessary steps in his evolution. Within months, he noticed current circumstances shifting, old debts mysteriously resolved, strained partnerships renewed, and fresh opportunities emerged, as if time itself had been rewritten. The meaning crystallizes. Every moment of your past remains energetically linked to your present. When you transmute the emotional charge of old memories through compassion, you literally rewrite their energetic imprint. This ripples forward, dissolving patterns of limitation that seemed carved in stone. The power of this practice lies not in changing what happened, but in transforming your relationship to it. As you release judgment of past choices, you free trapped energy to fuel new creation. Your timeline becomes fluid rather than fixed, responsive to the healing touch of present awareness. Ancient practice. Find a quiet moment and close your eyes. Picture your younger self in a moment of difficulty or pain. Approach this version of you with infinite tenderness. Wrap your arms around your past self in your mind's eye and whisper words of understanding and forgiveness. Feel waves of compassion dissolving old hurt, replacing it with light. Let this feeling of release wash through your entire being, refreshing your present reality with new freedom and possibility. Chapter 27. The Command of Identity. In the soft hours before dawn, Ada Pearl Delegati stirred from sleep with an insight that shook her worldview. For years, she had unconsciously woven bad luck into her story, wearing misfortune like an inherited garment. This simple awareness illuminated a profound truth about the universe's response to self-definition. The power of identity shapes reality with unwavering precision. Each time you name yourself, the universe bows to that declaration. When you whisper, "I am unlucky," creation itself adjusts its mirrors to reflect that belief. Yet in this same law lies liberation, for the mirror has no choice but to reflect a new image when you change the source. Ralph Jim Monaco discovered this principle through necessity rather than design. Faced with mounting challenges in his construction business, he paused one morning before his work site and declared himself anew. "I am the solution man," he stated, not as affirmation but as recognition of truth. Within weeks, what once appeared as obstacles began presenting themselves as opportunities for innovation. Clients who previously brought complaints now sought his insight. Even materials that had been scarce seemed to arrive precisely when needed. The deeper teaching reveals itself. Your identity is not a fixed star, but a chosen frequency. The universe, in its infinite responsiveness, orchestrates circumstances to validate your self-concept. This is not magical thinking, but the precise operation of consciousness within the field of infinite possibility. Think of your identity as a tuning fork. When you strike it with belief, reality harmonizes to that exact tone. If you vibrate with limitation, circumstances align to confirm those bounds. But strike a new note of abundance and watch as the universal orchestra adjusts its entire composition to support your song. This then becomes your point of power, the ability to consciously choose your identity rather than accept one handed to you by circumstance or history. You are not merely changing your thoughts. You are selecting the very frequency at which you transmit your existence into the cosmic field. The ancient wisdom whispers, "As a person thinketh in their heart, so are they." But this extends beyond mere thinking to the very essence of being. You must not only think differently, but recognize yourself anew at the core level of identity. Practice. Declare silently, "I am the embodiment of harmony," and watch existence rearrange to salute that command all day. Feel this truth not as a hope, but as a recognition of your authentic nature finally revealed. Chapter 28. The Seamless Moment. A merchant's daughter, Ella Kate Lombardo, spent years planning her perfect life, until she noticed her dreams always remained in tomorrow's mist. With each sunset, she would promise herself, "When things align, I'll begin living fully." Yet that magical moment of alignment never arrived, for it existed only in her imagination of the future. One evening, while watching the moon rise over her garden, understanding dawned like the soft silver light. The power to create, to feel, to be alive, it all existed only in this breath, this heartbeat, this instant of awareness. Tomorrow's dreams could never manifest through tomorrow's energy, for tomorrow held no creative force. Only the present moment carried the voltage of transformation. The teaching reveals itself with pristine clarity. Manifestation flows solely through the portal of now. When you stand fully in present awareness, without mental tension about past or future, reality responds to your current frequency. Like a radio that can only broadcast in this moment, your creative energy operates exclusively in the immediate now. Benny Lou Trentino, a local shopkeeper, discovered this truth through an unusual practice. Every hour, he would pause his work, close his eyes, and feel complete contentment with everything exactly as it was. No waiting, no wanting, no wishing, just pure acceptance of now. Within weeks, his business flourished, relationships deepened, and opportunities appeared as if by magic. Yet the real magic lay in his shift from constant future-seeking to present appreciation. His experience illuminates the deeper wisdom. The eternal now is not a concept, but a living power. Each moment arrives fresh, untouched, pregnant with possibility. When you rest in now-centered awareness, free from the tension of becoming, life responds with natural abundance. The universe can only create through this moment. It knows no other time. Sacred practice. Throughout today, let your attention rest fully in the present moment. Every hour, pause briefly and sense the completeness that already exists. Feel how each breath carries its own fulfillment, requiring nothing from the future. Notice how this simple shift in awareness allows each moment to bloom naturally into the next, without strain or effort. The power you seek has always lived in the eternal now, waiting for your recognition. Chapter 29. The Return to Source. The mist rolled in from the valley as Coronel Romano sat cross-legged beneath the old maple tree. Each morning she watched the sun pierce through fog until everything melted into radiance. Her daily practice revealed the deepest truth about creation, that consciousness itself is the source of all manifestation. The teaching whispers an ancient secret. Your awareness is not separate from the universal mind that dreams worlds into being. When you touch this understanding, the walls between observer and observed dissolve like morning dew. What remains is pure creative potential, unmarked by limitation or doubt. In the infinite field of consciousness, every thought ripples outward like light through crystal, manifesting as experience. Your individual awareness is a focal point through which the universe experiences itself. This is not metaphor, but the literal mechanism of creation. Tom Ray Bellucci discovered this truth one dawn as he watched the sun emerge over the ocean. In that moment of golden silence, he felt his consciousness expand beyond his body until he was both the watching and the watched, the sun and its witness, the ocean and its observer. This wasn't just unity, it was identity. He realized that his own awareness was not different from the divine intelligence that orchestrates reality. His experience illuminates the fundamental principle. What we call God or universe is not separate from our own consciousness. We are co-creators, divine awareness individualized into unique perspectives but never truly divided from our source. When you grasp this, manifestation becomes as natural as breathing. The distinction between inner and outer reality begins to fade. Your thoughts and the world they shape are two aspects of the same consciousness at play. This understanding transforms the practice of creation from effort to allowing, from doing to being. The ancient practice. Find a quiet space and settle into stillness. Begin to sense the awareness that perceives your thoughts and feelings. Notice how this awareness has no boundaries, no beginning or end. Let yourself dissolve into this vast field of consciousness like a drop returning to the ocean. Feel yourself as both the wave and the entire sea, individual yet infinite. From this expanded state, simply be present in your daily activities, knowing that your consciousness is one with the creative force that shapes all reality. The universe moves through you, as you, creating through your every thought and feeling. Chapter 30. The Forbidden Secret Revealed. In the quiet dawn hours, Lillian Fay Ricci sat watching sunlight filter through her kitchen window. As golden rays illuminated dancing dust motes, understanding washed over her like a gentle wave. The secret she had sought for decades wasn't concealed in ancient texts or whispered by mystical teachers. It had always been present, pulsing within her own consciousness. The core revelation emerges. You create reality, not through complex rituals or desperate pleading, but through the simple recognition that you are reality itself in motion. The universe does not yield to your wishes as though granting favors from afar. It responds because it is you, expressing through infinite forms. This truth found its echo in Henry Cole Moretti's remarkable transformation. A humble shopkeeper who had always felt bound by circumstance, Henry one day made a decision that arose not from want or need, but from pure knowing. He chose to see himself not as a character seeking permission, but as the author writing each moment. From that single shift in perspective, his entire world began to reshape itself. Where once stood walls of limitation, doorways opened. What had seemed like unchangeable facts became flexible possibilities. Henry discovered that each sincere decision carried the power of universal law, not because he had learned to manipulate external forces, but because he had remembered his true identity as the force itself. His experience illuminates the ultimate paradox. The secret of creation has never been secret. Like a fish searching endlessly for water while swimming through it, humanity has sought outside itself for the power that animates its every breath. The forbidden truth reveals itself in perfect simplicity. You are not the seeker, but the source seeking to know itself through you. This knowing differs entirely from intellectual understanding or temporary inspiration. It is the fundamental shift from believing you must attract what you want to recognizing you are what you want expressing itself into form. Every prayer is answered because you are the prayer and the response unified in one seamless movement of consciousness. Practice. Close your eyes, allow a smile to touch your lips, and whisper with gentle authority, "I am the author disguised as the character." Feel the very substance of existence responding not as something separate, but as your own being reshaping itself. Sense the page of reality turning precisely as you choose, revealing new chapters filled with radiant possibility. Let this knowing settle into your bones. You are not pursuing power. You are power pursuing experience through the story you call life. Part 4. The Continuum Beyond Manifestation. Chapter 31. The Horizon of Choice. Beatrice, May. Lucenti stood at the seashore, realizing every wave could symbolize a possible life. As she watched the endless rhythm of water meeting sand, understanding dawned. Each wave represented a choice, a moment of decision that shaped the next moment and the next. The ocean itself became a living metaphor for the infinite possibilities flowing through every instant of existence. This truth reveals itself in whispers. The universe maintains perfect flexibility, never cementing any outcome until you declare it through your emotional response. Like water conforming to any container, reality shapes itself around your chosen feeling in each moment. The law works not through rigid determination, but through perpetual invitation, asking again and again, how will you meet this moment? Milton J. Perrone discovered this principle while immersed in chess matches. Each move branched into countless potential futures until he recognized this same pattern weaving through daily life. Every situation presented a board of possibilities, each response opening or closing paths ahead. Through countless games, he began to sense how his emotional state during moves influenced outcomes more than strategy alone. The pieces seemed to arrange themselves according to his inner climate rather than mere tactical planning. His experience illuminates the deeper truth. Freedom isn't a one-time gift, but an ongoing practice of conscious choosing. Each moment offers a fresh chance to redirect your course through the simple power of attitude and attention. The universe doesn't bind you to past choices, but constantly presents new branching paths, waiting for your signal about which reality to manifest. This is why presence holds such power. It's the point where possibility becomes actuality through the steering wheel of emotion. Your feelings in any given moment act as a rudder, subtly guiding the ship of your life toward different shores. The key is remembering that you can adjust your course with each new breath. Practice. Take quiet pauses throughout the day to choose again, smiling inwardly as you steer toward joy. Let this conscious choosing blend the horizon with your intention until both stretch endlessly unified. Chapter 32. The Echo of Service. Long ago, a humble baker named Nora Lee D'Angelo lived in a small village where scents of fresh-baked pies drifted through narrow streets each morning. She began a simple practice of sharing these pies with neighbors, expecting nothing in return. At first, it seemed a modest gesture. Warm apple pie for the elderly widow next door, fresh cherry tarts for the exhausted young mother across the street. Yet, as weeks passed, she noticed something extraordinary beginning to unfold. The universal law revealed itself through her actions. Every pie given returned as unexpected abundance in her life. A stranger would appear with exactly the ingredients she needed. Her small bakery flourished without promotion. Even her garden yielded more fruit than ever before. The lesson crystallized. Giving creates an energetic current that must complete its circuit by returning enriched to its source. This same principle emerged in the life of Raymond Cole Alfano, an accomplished painter who chose to mentor struggling young artists without payment. He opened his studio each weekend, sharing techniques gathered through decades of experience. As he guided others toward their creative voice, something remarkable occurred. His own art transformed. New inspiration flowed through his brush, bringing depths of expression he had never before accessed. His simple act of service had opened channels of creativity that poured back into his work tenfold. These stories illuminate the grand symmetry of universal law. What flows out must flow back, multiplied by the vast ocean of possibility it traverses. When you give purely, without attachment to return, you create a vacuum that the universe rushes to fill. This is not mere poetry, but the precise mechanism of abundance. The key lies in the quality of the giving. It must emerge from authentic desire to contribute, untainted by expectation. Like Nora's pies and Raymond's teaching, true giving carries the vibration of joy in the act itself. This pure frequency becomes a beacon that draws aligned experiences back to you through the law of resonance. Practice. Offer one thoughtful act today without expectation, sensing invisible ripples expanding from your gesture and curving back like a luminous echo of grace. Chapter 33. The Living Dream. In the quiet moments between sleep and waking, Lucille Ann Morelli began noticing something extraordinary. Words she had dreamed would surface in conversations hours later. Places glimpsed in sleep appeared around unexpected corners. At first, she dismissed these echoes as mere coincidence, until their frequency became impossible to ignore. The veil between worlds is thinner than most realize. What we call reality and what we label dreams flow from the same eternal source. When emotion and crystal-clear intention align, these realms naturally merge and dance together. Your night visions are not separate from your daily experience. They are advance whispers of possibilities taking shape. The boundary between sleeping and waking consciousness dissolves when you understand that awareness never truly sleeps. It simply shifts its attention between different layers of experience. Your dreaming mind and your waking mind are two wings of the same bird, both soaring through the infinite field of potential. Eugene Ralph Caruso discovered this truth through an elegant practice. Each morning, before rising from bed, he would gently recall his dreams and consciously weave positive conclusions to any unfinished stories. If a dream showed uncertainty, he would imagine certainty. If it held tension, he would envision peace. Soon, these intentionally crafted endings began appearing in his daily life like flowers blooming from seeds he had planted in dream time. His experience reveals that dreams serve as preview frequencies, advanced signals of energetic patterns seeking expression. By consciously directing these patterns toward harmony, you tune the frequency of your entire day. The dream world offers a canvas where you can paint the emotional tone you wish to experience in your waking hours. The practice is simple yet profound. As you transition from sleep to wakefulness, gently catch hold of any pleasant symbol from your dreams. Perhaps a beautiful color, a peaceful scene, or a feeling of joy. Let this symbol's essence infuse your morning thoughts, like perfume filling a room. Then move through your day as if each moment is simply the natural continuation of this benevolent dream sequence. This practice bridges dimensions, allowing dream wisdom to flow freely into waking experience. You begin to see that all of life is one continuous dream, and you are its conscious dreamer. Upon waking, recall any pleasant symbol and let its meaning color your morning thoughts. Treat every scene thereafter as continuation of one grand, benevolent dream. Chapter 34. The Circle of Infinity. In the delicate hours between sunset and darkness, when the world softens its edges, truth whispers most clearly. It speaks through patterns woven into existence itself, the spiral of shells, the orbit of planets, the cycle of breath. These sacred geometries reveal that nothing in the universe travels in straight lines. All paths curve back to their beginning. When Rosalie Kate Romano first began painting during her meditation practice, she noticed her hand would naturally form spirals on the canvas. Day after day, whether her mood was bright or somber, these circular patterns emerged unbidden. As she surrendered to this natural motion, understanding dawned. Every creative act moves like water, flowing outward only to return transformed. This eternal return reveals the final principle of manifestation. Existence itself is circular, not linear. Your intentions, like seeds scattered on fertile ground, spiral outward through the dimensions of reality, gathering wisdom and power before returning to you, refined and expanded. Understanding this completes the circle of mastery. Creator and creation are one continuous motion of love turning endlessly through form. Gerald Dean Fiore glimpsed this truth when life presented him with a striking symmetry. The very dreams that had captured his young imagination decades ago suddenly reappeared, transformed into opportunities to guide others towards similar aspirations. His childhood passion for storytelling became the gift of teaching creative writing to troubled youth. His early fascination with healing led to establishing wellness centers in underserved communities. Through Gerald's experience, we see how time itself moves in spirals rather than lines. What begins as personal desire returns as universal service. Individual dreams expand into collective awakening. This is the interpretation hidden within every story of manifestation. Wholeness requires completion of the circle, turning endings into endless beginnings. Ancient wisdom has always known this truth. As above, so below. As within, so without. Now you understand why. Reality flows in perfect circles, each thought and feeling traveling outward only to return bearing gifts. Your creative power isn't projected in straight lines toward distant goals, but moves in sacred spirals that always lead back to source. Practice. Settle into a quiet space and visualize a soft, glowing circle surrounding you, endlessly looping light from your heart to the world and back again. Feel its continuous flow, proving that you and creation pulse as one infinite rhythm. Let this living awareness of circular wholeness guide every intention you set forth into the universe. If you enjoyed this audiobook, I created a free ebook version for you. You can download it using the link in the pinned comment. Conclusion. As you turn the final page of this ancient wisdom, understand that the circle closes perfectly where consciousness began, within your own sacred awareness. Through each parable and teaching, you have journeyed not outward, but inward, discovering that the true forbidden dimension was always your own divine nature, waiting to be remembered. The law of attraction reveals itself not as some mystical force to be mastered, but as the natural expression of your own creative essence. Every principle shared through these chapters, from the magnetic mind to the geometry of belief, from the silence that speaks to the quantum playground, all illuminate one fundamental truth. You are the artist of reality itself. This knowledge feels forbidden only because it challenges the illusion of powerlessness. Yet, as you have learned, true power lies not in forcing reality, but in allowing your natural divinity to flow unobstructed. When you align with this truth, the universe responds not through obligation but through love, a cosmic dance of creation responding to your every inner movement. The 4D reality is not a destination, but a remembrance, a return to your original state of conscious creation. Each chapter has guided you back to this primordial knowing, that thoughts shape energy, emotions direct power, and belief molds matter itself. Yet this wisdom asks to be held gently, lived quietly, and shared through example rather than proclamation. As you close this book, know that its real magic lies not in its words, but in your recognition of them. The mirror of reality now stands clear, reflecting back the divine creator you have always been. Live from this truth with grace and simplicity, for the most profound transformations arise from hearts that know their power needs no announcement.
If you enjoyed this exclusive audiobook, I handpicked this next book which will change your life.